How's it going, guys? Dragon here. Today I will be presenting to you the steps on how to install and use NVidia Geforce Now on your PC, Mac and Android devices. This video is going to be split in 4 parts. In the first part, we will be presenting a short overview of the service and the requirements you have to fulfill in order to use it. The second and third parts will be about the installation process on PC and Android with some gameplay to see how it runs on each device. The final part will be some of my impressions of the service, a small review if you will. But before we get into the video, if this is your first time watching my content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the small bell next to it to turn on notifications. I post videos from Monday to Friday about all things related to gaming and tech. Now, let's get right to the video. What is NVidia Geforce Now? NVidia Geforce Now is a streaming service for games similar to Netflix. It streams PC games anywhere on PC, Mac, Shield TV, and Android devices. It is a service similar to Google Stadia, PlayStation Now, and Microsoft xCloud. The key difference here is that unlike Google Stadia, where you have to buy the game from their own platform and pay a monthly subscription for the service, Geforce Now uses your existing gaming library from Steam, Epic Games Store, Uplay, and Origin. Basically, you only need to buy the game once, or not at all if you already have it, in order to use Geforce Now. Be aware that some games do not exist on the platform. I discussed about this in my other videos, but the short version of it is this. After the beta for the service ended, many companies like Rockstar, Square Enix, Activision and Bethesda have removed their libraries of games from it. So, if you want to play GTA 5 or Skyrim on the go, I'm sorry to disappoint you, those are no longer available on the platform. But there are other games that have joined this service. Even games like The Witcher 3 are available on this platform. Also, according to the recent blog post, over 1,500 games are going to be added to the library. One of them being none other than Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated game of 2020. Now, we are going to talk about the requirements for the service. In order to play Geforce Now, you need to fulfill some small requirements on your device of choice and have a decent internet connection. First, let's talk about the internet connection. You need to have an internet connection of at least 15 megabits per second for 720p at 60 frames per second and at least 25 megabits per second for 1080p at 60 frames per second. So if you want to see your internet speed, the quickest way would be on the site speedtest.net. Go there and just hit the Go button on the website. This will test your internet download and upload speed. At the end of the operation, you can see what type of internet speed you have and if you can run Geforce Now without a problem. Now, let us talk about your device. First up is PC. For PC, you need to have a 64-bit version of Windows 7 or newer. It does not support 32-bit versions. You also need at least a dual-core CPU with 2.0 GHz, 4 GB of RAM, a GPU from NVIDIA 600 series or newer, or AMD Radeon 300 or newer, or Intel Graphics 2000 or newer. So in order to check this information on any version of Windows, you can check by hitting and holding the Windows button, then hit the R button. This will open a small window where you have to type DXDAC and then hit enter. A new window will pop up where you can see the information about your PC. In the System tab, look for Operating System to check the Windows version. In here, also look for Processor to check your CPU. In the Display tab, next to the System tab, you can check the GPU model. If you fulfill the requirements, then you are ready to go on PC. For Mac users, you need macOS 10.10 or better. On the NVIDIA page, you can see the full list of Macs that can run Geforce Now just fine. You can see that it includes iMacs, MacBooks, and Mac Pros. So, to find your macOS version, click the Apple menu in the corner of your screen. Choose About this Mac, and there you'll see the macOS name followed by its version number. And finally, Android phones. For Android phone users, you need a phone with 2 GB of RAM with Android 5.0 aka Lollipop or a higher version. For Android 5 and 6, tap Apps, then Settings, then tap About Device. Here you have to look for Android version. For Android 7 or up, tap Settings, then tap About Phone, then Software Information. Here you have to look for Android version. For each of these devices you can also use a gamepad. The main ones are PS4 controller, Xbox 360 or Xbox One controllers, and some Logitech gamepads like F310, 510 and 710. So for the first one, we are going to install NVIDIA Geforce on PC. The first step is to go to NVIDIA.com. There you have to go to the Products tab and click Geforce Now. This will open the Geforce Now page where you will have to click Join Today. Here you will be able to choose the membership you desire, the free membership and the Founders membership. The free membership is a standard access with 1 hour session length. Standard access means that you will stay in queue with other players, while 1 hour session length means that you can play for 1 hour straight a game. After that 1 hour, NVIDIA will close your session, but you can jump right back into a new session and play for 1 hour straight again. The Founders membership, which is €549 per month or $5 per month, contains a priority access, gives you higher priority in queue, extended session length, which is about 6 hours of playtime, RTX on for those games that support this special lighting effect, and a free 90-day trial. So whichever membership you choose to apply for, the free membership or the Founders membership, you will still have to connect with your own NVIDIA account to associate that membership. So if you do have an NVIDIA account, you can just connect with your email and password. If you don't have an NVIDIA account, you can click the Create Account button. There, you have to fill a form with your email address, password and display name. After you've connected with your own NVIDIA account, the free membership or the Founders membership is associated to that account. Now you just have to download the app. Here you can see the different apps for the different devices: Windows PC, Mac OS, NVIDIA Shield and Android. For our first device, we will do the PC installation. You just need to click the download button and download the file wherever you desire on your PC. Then you just run that file and it will automatically install Geforce Now on your platform. After you've opened the application, now you have to connect with your NVIDIA account on the Geforce Now platform. You just need to click the login button in the upper right corner. For the Android installation, it is pretty much the same steps as for PC. You have to go to the Play Store and search for Geforce Now. There you select it and install the application on your phone. Then you can open the app and select to log in to your NVIDIA account or to hit Join Today to choose your membership. If you hit Login, you can enter your account or create a new account using your email and password. Afterwards, you can choose your membership on their website by clicking Join Today. The memberships are the same as on PC, the free version for 1 continuous hour of gaming, or the Founders membership, which has a 6-hour session length, RTX on and queue priority. Let's talk about the service itself. The interface is pretty intuitive. You just have to search in the top search bar the game you would like to add to your library or add one of the games in the featured list. Be aware that you either have to own the game or it is a free game to play. After you hit play on a game in your library, Geforce Now will open a new connection to the NVIDIA server where you'll have to connect to your respective gaming platform, Steam for example, and play the game you selected. This means that you are remotely connected to a PC from NVIDIA. If this is your first time playing a game on the Geforce Now, you'll have to install it. This does not mean it will install on your local PC. Instead, it will install on the remote PC from NVIDIA. So for this video, I tested the service playing League of Legends on my laptop and Fortnite on my phone. Full disclosure, I am not the most proficient player at either of these games. I occasionally play League of Legends just for fun. Also be warned that some games on phone require either a mouse and keyboard or a gamepad to play them. I had no wireless mouse and keyboard available and Fortnite accepted the gamepad, hence I played this game. I wanted to see how the service runs in an online game and to find out if there is any lag or input delay. The first time I tried to capture some footage, I ended up waiting in queue for a very long time. It was in a weekend and people were flooding the service. It was borderline absurd how long I waited. I even tried switching the service and it still didn't work. Here is how long it took me to enter the game.
2 hours later. 1 eternity later.
There is definitely some latency and input delay, but it is to be expected since it is a remote connection. The latency may vary from user to user since it depends on your own internet speed, how many devices are connected to your Wi-Fi network, and the location of the Geforce Now server where you are connecting to. The further away from the server, the worse it will get. While playing, I did notice the input delays. It was not as responsive as it would have been if I played it on my own PC. The delayed input to screen is noticeable, especially in multiplayer games where timing is key. But the latency was not that big that you couldn't play it. The latency for me from Geforce Now was an extra 39 milliseconds. Again, this may vary from user to user. Also, there were sometimes some connection issues with the servers, despite me fulfilling the necessary requirements to stream. In both games, I got at one point or another a spotty connection notification, which severely increased the latency for a few moments. I do not know if this was from my side or the NVIDIA server side. On the graphical side, League of Legends stayed constantly at 1080p with no issues whatsoever in my playtime. But on the phone, I noticed some texture pop-ins when loading the first time in Fortnite. Nothing too major, it was gone in a few seconds. I imagine that if you have a very bad internet connection, the resolution might downscale to 720p automatically. There is no 4K option just yet for this service. They seem to want to keep it running smoothly for HD streaming. In practice, this makes it a more viable option since it consumes less bandwidth, especially useful if you have data caps. You can even tweak yourself the bandwidth of the stream by going to the settings in the app and change the bitrate and resolution. If you set it to the lowest bitrate, 1080p with 60 frames per second, it streams on 5 megabits per second and uses around 2 gigabytes per hour on Geforce Now. So, what are my final thoughts and conclusions? Well, this service is amazing from a technological perspective. It works, and in the ideal case, it works well enough. Would I recommend everyone to just go and subscribe to the service? No. Why? Because it depends on way too many factors, like the internet speed, data caps, and the server locations. All of these will vary from region to region. Not one person will have the same streaming quality on their device. But that doesn't mean that for some people, this service can't be a viable option. If you have a decent internet but you don't want to change your old PC or laptop, or you don't want to buy an expensive console to play hardware demanding games, this service might just be for you. You can play on the phone, PC, Mac, and TV as long as you fulfill those minimum requirements I said at the beginning. This is not a service for all, that is clear, but it can become an option alongside the current market for those that don't have the time or possibility. If you also have a good mobile data connection, you can play this on the go as well. If, and I mean if, in the future things change, like the internet infrastructure becomes better for everyone, or they make it so they consume even less bandwidth for the same quality, then this service might just become the next Netflix for games, assuming it will exist until then. Well, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first time trying this, so I have no idea how well I did. All this information can be accessed from the links in the description. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Geforce Now? Have you tried it yet? Or are you going to try it? I am curious how well it works for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and found some useful information. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Maybe subscribe to the channel and share the video. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the dislike. I hope you all have a fantastic day and wish you all the best. Goodbye everyone!